Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into ACIM Lesson 44. If you've been following along, you know we've been systematically rebuilding how we understand reality. But this lesson, this one is absolutely profound all on its own. We're going to explore how true vision actually works, and honestly, it completely flips our everyday understanding of the world right on its head.
So, let's start by looking at today's core lesson. God is the light in which I see. Now, just to be clear, we are not talking about physical light bulbs or the sun shining outside. This is a massive statement about your inner awareness. The text essentially suggests that without this deeper, divine light, we're literally just walking around in the dark, basically making up what we think we're seeing.
Okay, let's quickly map out today's explainer. We'll cover 4 things. First, the concept of light within, not without. Second, overcoming ego resistance. Third, we'll break down the step-by-step daily practice. And finally, your daily requirement.
Right into section 1, light within, not without. Let's unpack what the text actually means by light and seeing, because spoiler alert, it is very different from what we learned in biology class. True vision isn't about your physical eyes at all. The text draws a really sharp contrast here. The untrained mind believes it relies entirely on outside equipment, our physical eyeballs. And it actually creates darkness, falsely believing it can somehow see within that dark. But the trained mind recognizes that the essential light making sight possible is already inside you. It reflects life. It's an aspect of creation. The big takeaway here? You don't see outside yourself. The true equipment for seeing, that inner light, is with you always.
Now you might be sitting there wondering, well, if this natural light is always right there with us in every single circumstance, why does it feel so incredibly hard to reach? Why can't we just tune into it instead of stressing over our grocery lists or daily anxieties?
Well, the text explains that this practice is highly difficult for the undisciplined mind for a simple reason. It represents a major goal of mind training. It requires the exact kind of focus and surrender that our untrained minds completely lack right now. It's kind of like trying to run a marathon without ever jogging a mile first. But the source material is absolutely clear. This training must be accomplished if you are to truly see the world as it is.
Moving to section 2, overcoming ego resistance. It's actually fascinating how the text predicts the exact mental pushback you're going to feel when you try this.
The text gives us this incredibly powerful, almost shocking framing. Properly speaking, this is the release from hell. Think about that. As you practice this lesson, you're instructed to just leave behind everything you currently believe, all the thoughts you've literally made up. You are stepping out of your own mental torment. But, and this is a really big but, your ego perceives this release very differently.
Here is the absolute crux of it. Perceived through the ego's eyes, letting go of your made-up thoughts feels like a total loss of identity. It feels like a descent into hell. But the truth is the exact opposite. You're escaping darkness and reaching light. If you can just stand aside from your ego, even a tiny little bit, you'll recognize that its fears are completely meaningless. You're just attempting to reach the true light.
Section 3, step-by-step daily practice. With all that theory out of the way, let's look at how this builds into an actual, actionable meditation exercise.
To do this correctly, the text gives us a very specific method. First, start with your eyes open, repeating the phrase, God is the light in which I see. Second, slowly close your eyes and repeat the idea a few more times. Third, try to sink into your mind, letting go of any interference. And fourth, this is absolutely key, quietly let your mind take its natural course. Just observe those passing thoughts without getting tangled up in them. Let them slip quietly by.
Now, while there's no rigid physical approach or posture enforced here, what absolutely matters is your mindset. You have to recognize that this practice has inestimable value. You need to hold an awareness that you're attempting something very holy. The text actually goes so far as to call this your salvation, noting it's your happiest and most meaningful accomplishment. So, treat this time with the deep respect it really deserves.
But let's be practical for a second. What should you actually do if resistance, distraction, or sudden anxiety bubbles up while your eyes are closed and you're trying to sink past your thoughts?
The text offers a brilliant, comforting safety net here. If resistance rises, just pause. Pause long enough to repeat today's idea. Try to keep your eyes closed, but actually, scratch that. If you become aware of genuine fear, it is perfectly fine to open your eyes briefly just to reassure and ground yourself. Once you feel steady again, return to the closed eye exercise as soon as possible. It's a very gentle, forgiving process.
So how do you know it's working? Well, when done correctly, you'll experience a deep, profound sense of relaxation. You'll literally feel a sensation of approaching or even entering into a formless, limitless light. As you pass right by the thoughts of this world, remember, those thoughts cannot hold you to the world unless you give them the power to do so.
Section 4. Your daily requirement. Let's look at exactly how often you need to apply this mind training today to really lock it in.
To truly benefit from this lesson, you need to commit to at least 3 dedicated practice periods today. And each of these periods needs to last between 3 to 5 minutes. Now, longer times are highly recommended, but only if you find the time simply slipping by with no sense of strain. Beyond those sit-down periods, you've got to be fiercely determined to repeat the core idea often throughout your routine today, eyes open or closed. Above all, make a firm determination not to forget today.
I want to leave you with today's powerful core statement. God is the light in which I see. Just as a quick reminder for your daily practice, make sure you do this at least 3 times today for 3 to 5 minutes each time, and keep repeating the phrase often. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If you found this helpful, please take a quick second to like and subscribe so we can keep bringing you these deep dives. So, as you go about your day, are you going to let your ego keep you in the dark, or will you choose to uncover the light that's been inside you all along?